in the lecture series of electronic measurement and instrumentation. Till now, we have completed all the topics from the unit 1. So, from this lecture, we will go ahead for the unit 2 of electronic measurement and instrumentation. In the first unit, we have seen that instruments like PMMC, ammeter, PMMC voltmeter, and in the very first lecture I mentioned that the measuring instrument should have two important characteristics. The first one is they should draw minimum current, negligible current from the circuit in which they are introduced. So the very important characteristic is for the measuring instruments, the instrument should draw very negligible power from the circuit in which it is introduced. The very important characteristic is the instrument should draw very negligible power from the circuit in which it is introduced, so that the instrument should possess the maximum accuracy. If the power drawn from the circuit is very low, then the accuracy of the instrument will be high, and the other characteristic is the instrument should not change. The instrument should not change the ambient condition of the circuit. It means that the instrument in which it is introduced for the measurement, it should not alter the conditions of the circuit, means it should not change resistance of the circuit, it should not change the power of the circuit. These properties should be there in an instrument if it is measuring instrument for an electronic circuit. If the instrument will draw negligible power from the circuit, it will give maximum accuracy. If instrument will not change the condition of the circuit, it will give very accurate result after the measurement. So instrument should maintain these two characteristics. In the previous unit we have seen how the voltmeter was working. In the voltmeter there was a high resistance in the series to the PMMC instrument. In the ammeter there was a very low resistance in the parallel to the instrument in the PMMC ammeter circuit. So if we see the voltmeter, what we have seen in the last unit, how it was working. Suppose we have to measure a voltage across the given circuit by using PMMC voltmeter. This is the circuit. Across this terminal we have to measure the voltage. Across this circuit, across these two terminals. Suppose this is terminal A, this is terminal B, and we have to measure the voltage across terminal A and terminal B by introducing a PMMC voltmeter. So if I am introducing this voltmeter, this voltmeter has its own resistance. Obviously, when this voltmeter will be introduced in the circuit, it will draw some current from the circuit, and if the current is drawn from the circuit, definitely there would be a power dissipation in the resistance of the instrument Rm. So to draw the negligible power from the circuit, this instrument should have a very large resistance, but it is not there in the PMMC instrument. This resistance is not very high, it is in the order of kilo ohm. So this instrument will draw some current from the circuit, hence it will dissipate some power taken from the circuit. This will reduce the accuracy of the instrument. So because this resistance, obviously it is not infinite, so it will take some current from the circuit and draw some power. To remove this disadvantage, the first disadvantage is of PMMC voltmeter. The first disadvantage is when this instrument will be introduced in the circuit, it will draw some power, hence it will load the circuit, means loading effect. The second disadvantage is it is unable to measure low voltages. Because a resistance of high value is connected in the series, which causes major voltage drop in the instrument. Due to this instrument is unable to very low voltages. One disadvantage. The other one is it will load the circuit in which it is connected. We have to remove these disadvantages. We have to make the input impedance of the circuit very high. So if I have to increase the input impedance of the circuit to a very high value, we have to modify the circuit in such a way that the input impedance becomes high. For this purpose, we will go for the electronic instrumentation in this circuit. So for the electronic instrumentation, we will suppose in this case this voltage is across the terminal. Suppose this voltage is 20 volt. Suppose this voltage is 20 volt, and to measure the 20 volt, the voltmeter requires, suppose, 1.5 ampere current. Suppose consider a situation where the terminal voltage is given 20 volt, and this 20 volt we have to measure by using a PMMC voltmeter. Suppose to measure this voltage, this voltmeter requires 1.5 ampere. If the current is less than 1.5 ampere, this voltmeter will show a less value than the 20 volt. And I have to somehow, by using some means, I have to reduce this current going in the instrument. So to reduce this voltage, to reduce this current, what can I do? This is very clear. It will take 1.5 milliampere to measure 20 volt. But what I have to do, I have to reduce this current drawn from the circuit itself. But this instrument, if it will get the current less than 1.5 ampere, it will show less deflection than the 20 volt. I have to maintain both the conditions. I have to give 1.5 ampere to the voltmeter, but this 1.5 ampere should not be drawn from this circuit. I will give 1.5 ampere to the voltmeter, but this 1.5 ampere should not be drawn from this circuit. That means if somehow I am able to give some current from a different source, if I am giving this current from a different source, suppose this source is giving 1.4 ampere current to the voltmeter. If this source is giving 1.4 ampere current to this voltmeter, in this case this voltmeter will draw only 0.1 ampere from the circuit in which it is introduced. So what we have to do? We have to supply the required amount of current from an external source, from a different source. For this purpose, we have to use one transistor with the PMMC voltmeter, because transistor can solve all the purposes. Transistor can amplify low voltages to a measurable value. The first advantage is transistor can amplify low voltages to a measurable value. The second one is the transistor have very high input impedance. After introducing the transistor in the circuit, we will get a very high input impedance with the RM. So the transistor can solve all the purposes, and also the common emitter transistor have a relatively low output resistance, so that it can be coupled with the voltmeter. So to solve the purpose, the one purpose is the voltmeter should draw very less amount of current from the circuit, and the second one is the voltmeter should offer very high impedance to the circuit in which it is introduced. So by using transistor we can solve all these problems very easily. So in this circuit we will introduce a transistor. In this circuit we will introduce a transistor with the PMMC voltmeter. Here is the circuit across which we have to measure the voltage across these two terminals. We have to introduce a transistor in this circuit with the voltmeter RM. This is NPN transistor with collector is here, base is here, and this is emitter. this is some useful voltage VCC. After using a BJT transistor, how can this BJT transistor solve the problem? We will see after a minute. First, I will discuss the two important characteristics of the NPN transistor. Suppose transistor is here, NPN transistor, this is emitter, this terminal is base, this terminal is emitter, and this terminal is called collector. This is NPN transistor. Current going in the base is IB. Current coming out of the emitter is IE, and current entering through the collector is IC. The voltage between base and emitter is called V suffix BE. VBE is the voltage between base and emitter. If I will draw the characteristic between base current and the voltage VBE, we will get a curve like this. This is the voltage applied at the base of the transistor VBE. This is the current on the y axis. This is current going in the base. If we see this transistor, this terminal, this region is N, P, and this region is N. So base and emitter, if we draw the characteristic of the base emitter voltage and current going in the base, we will get a characteristic of the diode. Simply it is PN junction diode. We are going to draw the characteristic of a PN junction diode in between the IB and VB, because this is P material, this is N material, and the characteristic will be same as the PN junction diode. The characteristic will be same as the PN junction diode. So the characteristic will be something like this. This value is VBE is equal to 0.7 volt for a silicon material. This is cutoff voltage of the diode, and this is nearly equal to the 0.7 volt in the silicon material. This curve is further can be approximated as this curve between VBE and IB can be approximated as a straight line like this. This curve is not very far away from the approximated value. This curve is like this. This curve is like this only. So this can be approximated as a straight line. We can draw an important result from this current, that whatever the value of IB, current may be anything through the base, the voltage drop across base and the emitter will always remain 0.7 volt. This voltage will never vary if the current is going to vary IB. If the base current is going to vary, IB is going to vary, the base emitter voltage will remain always constant 0.7 volt. One important result from this is whatever the base current, whatever the base current, the base emitter voltage VBE will always remain 0.7 volt, will always remain 0.7 volt. Whatever the value of base current, the voltage drop across base emitter terminal will always remain 0.7 volt. The other relation which can be drawn in the base emitter voltage is, in the common emitter transistor is, the current through the collector, means the current IC is always less than or equal to beta into IB. This is some constant property of the transistor called current gain of the common emitter transistor. So the maximum value of the IC may become equal to the some constant into base current, or it will be, in some cases it will be less than the base current into beta. So this current maximum value of IC is beta into IB, and this is an important relation to calculate the values of collector and base currents. Remember this. The other relation is the total current. By using KCL we can say that the total current coming out of the device will equal to the total current going in the device, into the device. So we can write that the total outgoing current coming out current is IE, and the total current which is going inside the device is IB plus IC. We can write here IC, maximum value IC is beta into IB. So we can draw an important relation from here that IE is equal to beta plus 1 into IB. This is another important relation in the BJT transistor. So we have to remember these 2 points to analyze this emitter follower voltmeter. One important result is this voltage VBE always remain 0.7 volt irrespective of the base current going inside the transistor. The two relations are important. IC, maximum value of current IC is equal to beta times IB, and the current going out of the emitter will be equal to the beta plus 1 times of the base current IB. By using these two relations, we can discuss the values, the function of the emitter follower voltmeter. These two relations are very important for the analysis of this circuit. I will redraw this circuit. The voltage which we have to measure, suppose we have to measure the voltage across terminals of a unknown circuit. This is one terminal. In the emitter terminal, we will connect the voltmeter. This is base, and the voltage which we have to measure is V in. The resistance of the voltmeter is Rm. Current going in the base is IB. Current going through the collector is IC, and current coming out of the emitter is IE. We can calculate the current going in the voltmeter if the base current is IB. We can write here IE is equal to beta plus 1. IE is equal to beta plus 1 into IB. This relation itself is sufficient to indicate that this instrument is getting this much current, beta plus 1 IB, while the current drawn from the circuit is only IB. In the practical cases, the value of beta maybe it is 99. If the value of beta suppose 99, then the current drawn from the circuit, is equal to IB. The current drawn from the circuit is IB. We can see here it is the base current of the transistor, but the current which is passing through the voltmeter is, the current passing through the voltmeter is, if the value of beta is 99, then IE is the current passing through the voltmeter, means I can write it as IM. IM will be 99 plus 1 times IB, means IM is equal to 100 IB. The first purpose is solved, that the current drawn from the circuit, very less current is drawn from the circuit IB, but what the instrument is getting, it is 100 times the current drawn from the circuit. Means if the current drawn from the circuit is 0.1 ampere, then the voltmeter will get 100 times of this current, means Im will be 100 into 0.1, it will be 10 ampere. In this example, we can see that very less amount is current, while a very less amount of current is drawn from the circuit, only 0.1 ampere, but the instrument is getting 10 ampere. That means what I mentioned earlier, that we have to supply some additional amount of current from an external source, and this current will be supplied by this potential VCC. So the one purpose is solved. We are supplying the extra amount of current from the external circuit, while a very less amount of current is drawn from the circuit in which we have to measure the voltage. Now consider the potential V in is something, it is 2.7 volt. Suppose this potential is 2.7 volt, then what will be the value of IB and what will be the input impedance of this circuit? If the ammeter voltmeter resistance is something about 1 kilo ohm, the total value of Rm included the series resistance, suppose it is 1 kilo ohm. If the resistance, value of the resistance is in the voltmeter is 1 kilo ohm, then what will be these currents IB, IC and IE, given the input voltage is 2.7 volt, because we know the potential drop across this terminal is always VBE, is this voltage is 0.7 volt, always VBE is equal to 0.7 volt. Now apply KVL in this loop. Apply KVL in this loop, what we will get? V in minus, because it is a voltage drop here of 0.7 volt, V in minus VBE minus a voltage drop is here IE into RM minus IE into RM is equal to 0. We have to calculate the value of base current. We will put all the values. Value of V in is 2.7 volt. Value of VBE is 0.7 volt. Value of IE, in place of IE, I will put beta plus 1 IB, and value of RM is 10.3. From here we can write, suppose beta is, again it is suppose 99, the current gain of the common emitter amplifier, suppose it is 99, then we will write 2.7 minus 7 volt is 2 volt minus 100, beta plus 1 is 100 into IB into 10.3 is equal to 0. From here the value of IB is equal to 2 upon 10 power 3 into 10 power 2, 2 upon 10 power 5, or we can say that it is 2 by 100 into 10 power minus 3, or we can say that 0.2 into 10 power minus 4, or it can be written as 0.02 milliampere. It means the current drawn from the circuit is very less. It is about 0.2 milliampere, and if I will if I am getting if I will calculate the input impedance of this circuit, we will write the input impedance as of this circuit will be equal to V in upon IB. The current, the voltage applied at the input terminal by the current going in the input terminal. This is input impedance of the circuit. The V in is known to me, it is 2.7 volt, and IB is 0.02 into 10 power minus 3. It is 2.7 upon 2 into 10 power minus 5. This value is 13.5, means 1.35 into 10 power 5 is implies that it is 135 into 10 power 3. So the input impedance of the circuit is 135 kilo ohm, means input impedance is 135 kilo ohm. The first advantage of using this transistor here, it is drawing very less amount of current from the circuit. It is about 0.02 milliampere, which is a very less value. And the input, if I am not using this transistor, then the input impedance of the voltmeter will be 1 kilo ohm, and after using this transistor, this value become 135 kilo ohm, means the input impedance of this voltmeter has been increased by 135 times. This is the 135 times of the input impedance of this voltmeter. So by using this circuit, by using this transistor at the output of the circuit in which we have to measure the voltage, we are getting two advantages. The one is it is taking very less amount of current from the circuit to give the deflection, and the second one is the input impedance of the voltmeter is very high after using this transistor. Because the input impedance is very high of this voltmeter, we can use this voltmeter to measure the voltage across the high resistance circuits, because this resistance will appear in the parallel in the circuit in which we are going to measure the voltage, in which we are going to measure the potential. So for using the voltmeter in a very high impedance circuit, the input impedance of the voltmeter should be very high, and we have seen in this case, after using the transistor of a current gain of 99, the input impedance of the voltmeter has been increased to the 135 times of its value, of its original value. So we can see that we have been solved these two problems of power dissipation and of low impedance of the voltmeter. Suppose the input voltage is what will be the voltage across voltmeter in this case, means what will be the value of Vm. We have to calculate the value of voltage across the voltmeter when input voltage of 2.7 volt is applied across the terminals. We have to measure this voltage across the voltmeter Vm. We know this voltage is VBE. So there is a voltage drop across the base emitter terminal. We can get the value of Vm after the subtracting this VBE from input voltage 2.7 volt. So in this case the Vm will be 2.7 volt minus 0.7 volt. So this will become 2 volt. When the value of input voltage is 2.7 volt, the voltmeter receiving only 2 volt from the input terminal. Consider another case when the input voltage is 8.1 volt. If the input voltage is, if Vin is equal to 8.1 volt, what we will get? What will be the reading of this voltmeter? To get the reading, we will write Vm is equal to Vin minus VBE. Again it will become Vin is 8.1 volt minus 0.7 volt. Vm will become 7.4 volt. Now we will draw relation between input voltage and the voltage what I am getting at the output. Means we will draw the graph between Vin and Vm. This is 7.4 volt when the input voltage is 8.1. Now draw the graph between input voltage Vin and the output voltage Vm. When the input voltage is 2.7 volt, suppose when the input voltage is 2.7 volt in one case, in the second case the input voltage is 8.1 volt. When the input voltage is 2.7 volt, the Vm is 2 volt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. When the input voltage is 2.7 volt, the value of output voltage is 2 volt. Again, when the value of input voltage is 8.1 volt, we are getting 7.4 volt at the output, means it is here 7.4 volt at the output. Connect these two voltages, these 2 points, we are getting a straight line, but consider the case when the Vin is 0.7 volt. When the Vin is 0.7 volt, the Vm will become Vin minus VBE minus 0.7 minus, means when Vin is 0.7 volt and VBE is also 0.7 volt, the value of Vm will be 0. Means the value of Vm will become 0 when the input voltage is 0.7 volt. That means this curve is not passing through the origin. It shows that the relation between input and output is not linear in this case. Another way of analyzing is to show the non-linearity of this result. We can see when the voltage is input voltage is when the input voltage is 2.7 volt, the output voltage in this case is 2 volt. When the input voltage is 8.1 volt, the output voltage is 7.4 volt. If it is a linear relation, then both input and output should change in the same proportion. Means if the input is changing, input becomes 3 times of its previous value. 2.7 into 3 is equal to 8.1. Means when the input is increasing to the 3 times of its previous value, the output is not increasing in the same proportion. Means it should be into 3, it should be 6 volt, but it is giving 7.4 volt. That means the relation between input and output is non-linear. This is one disadvantage of this circuit, that the input and output relation is non-linear. And why this relation is non-linear? This relation is non-linear because of this voltage, because of this base emitter voltage. This relation is non-linear. That means this circuit has been introduced. That means this circuit has been given two advantages of. One advantage is it is offering very high input impedance. The other advantage is even the very less amount of current drawn from the circuit in which we have to measure the voltage, even very less current is drawn from here, but the voltmeter is getting relatively a large value of current, and this extra supply is given from the VCC. So in this way, this circuit, this transistor is giving two advantages, but it introduces one disadvantage also, which is non-linear relation between the output and input in this circuit. So somehow, and this one important thing is, this non-linear relation is only because of this base emitter voltage VBE. So somehow we have to compensate this voltage VBE by using some other source. Means we will see the modified circuit of this voltage emitter follower. we will see the modified circuit of this voltmeter follower. The problem is there is an extra term in between input and output, and this extra term is VBE, means when I am measuring the output VM, this is equal to V in minus VBE. Somehow, if I am able to remove this term VBE, we will get the same value as the same value of the output as applied at the input side of the device. This problem can be solved by using another transistor. We will see in a minute. We have to remove this term, means somehow we have to add same amount of voltage in this expression. That means Vm minus VBE is equal to, I will transfer this at this side, then I will write Vm minus VBE is equal to V in minus VBE, means we have to deduct this term VBE from the output voltage, means I have to apply a negative voltage of the same magnitude of VBE at the input terminal of the voltmeter. That means, so if I am using this device as the one thing is clear, I have to use another device to supply the same voltage drop at the terminals of the voltmeter as the VBE. So this is the device voltmeter, this is the input terminal V in, this is VCC, current is IC, this is VBE, current is IB, and this is current IE. Suppose I am connecting this voltmeter as RE, this is emitter resistance, and I am connecting this voltmeter here and making the other terminal ground. Again, if the voltage is Vm, how will I get this voltage? This voltage will also be Vm. In this case also, the Vm will be V in minus VBE. Again, we are getting the same relation, and again the relation will be non-linear. Somehow I have to add extra voltage here plus VBE. If I am applying the negative voltage here, if I am applying the negative voltage here, VBE, then what will be the relation now between input and output? I will write VM as, I will write this relation as V in minus VBE minus VM plus VBE is equal to 0. This will cancel out and I will write this relation as V in is equal to VM. If the V in is equal to VM, I will get a linear relation in the input and output voltage. So ultimately I have to connect the same potential which appears here between the base and emitter. I have to apply the same potential at the terminal of the voltmeter. So what is the way? How can I apply same VBE where I will get this exact value of VBE, and how can apply this at the terminal of the voltmeter, we will see in the next lecture. So this is all for today. Thank you.